Top247 Sports revealed its final Top 247 rankings for 2019 recruits on Wednesday afternoon. The list features 11 future Penn State players, including several who enrolled on campus earlier this month. The Nittany Lions carry 19 signees and 1 verbal commit, defensive end Smith Vilbert, with 2 weeks left until National Signing Day, February 6. Penn State is again in contention to sign a top 10 recruiting class in 247 sports composite rankings, something it achieved in 2018 for the first time since 2006. Considering the cumulative results for PSU's 11 prospects in top 247 order was an 85-spot improvement, the entire class itself could be lined for a slight bump. The unveiling of this list represents the completion of a long-term effort. Since the end of the season, the 247 sports recruiting team has extensively reviewed both senior season video and production along with live evaluations at the All-American Bowl, Under Armour All-America Game and Polynesian Bowl. 247 sports national analyst Charles Power wrote, "Senior seasons and All-Star Game showings are pivotal evaluation tools as they provide us with the most up-to-date snapshot of a prospect, sometimes just days or weeks before their enrollment in college. This final release will remain unchanged, making attention to detail paramount. Updates to rankings outside the top 247 will be ongoing all the way up to signing day." For a second straight year, Penn State signed a pair of 5-star talents in the top 247. In 2018, the Nittany Lions landed linebacker Micah Parsons, No. 5, and receiver Justin Shorter, No. 7, early enrolled linebackers Brandon Smith, number 12, and Lance Dixon, number 13, earned 5-star status this time around, signifying a bright future for PSU's linebacker legacy. While we won't know the true outcome of their collegiate careers for another 3, 4 or even 5 years, assessment of the talent in this Nittany Lions class indicates a promising program trajectory. Here's a review of those 11 athletes who represent Penn State in the top 247, along with high school video highlights of each. Status: enrolled at Penn State. Previous ranking: 14th positional ranking, No. 1 inside linebacker, size 6'4", 228 pounds, recruited from Louisa County HS, Mineral, VA. Brandon Smith, named Virginia's 2018 Gatorade Player of the Year, was a finalist for the Butkus Award, which is presented annually to the top linebacker in high school. He tallied 135 tackles, 14 quarterback pressures, 9 forced fumbles, and 5 sacks as a senior. Penn State entered his recruitment in April 2017 and eventually beat out several contenders, including Clemson, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Texas A. Smith completed his prep career January 3 in the Under Armour All-America Game. Soon afterward, he became one of 11 early enrollees from the Nittany Lions recruiting class. During the reveal of 247 Sports' 32 official 5-star talents, 247 Sports Director of Scouting Barton Simmons compared Smith to former Vanderbilt All-American and current Houston Texans starter Zach Cunningham. "The size, length, physicality there is all pretty freakish," Simmons said. "He's in the 4.6, 40-yard dash range and he could evolve into an edge pass rusher, into a hand-down defensive end. But I think as an inside linebacker, he has so much upside. A guy who can slice into running lanes, be really physical." Brandon Smith is a very physical tackler and, despite that size and that length, he has no issues playing in the box right now. But he's got a lot of versatility. Status: enrolled at Penn State. Previous ranking: 49th positional ranking, No. 1 outside linebacker, size 6'2", 201 pounds, recruited from West Bloomfield HS, Mich. The late rising Lance Dixon used an official visit to Happy Valley in June and 3 weeks later, pledged to Penn State from a group of finalists that featured Big Ten foes Michigan, Michigan State, Ohio State and Wisconsin. An all-state track and field competitor, he provides elite quickness at linebacker. Also utilized as a safety during his high school career, Dixon can defend a variety of opponents and won't be overmatched in pass coverage. He collected 95 tackles, 4.5 sacks and 11 quarterback hurries in 2018, according to the Detroit Free Press. Simmons, while discussing Dixon's climb into five-star territory, compared him to former Notre Dame All-American and current Dallas Cowboys starter Jalen Smith. "We are way against the grain here," Simmons said. "Others in the industry have him all the way down as like a three-star prospect. I love this kid. No concern. Turn on the film. He's a 4.55 40-yard dash guy. He's a kid that plays offense. He's a kid that brings violence to the point of attack. He disrupts the football, always grabbing at it and picking balls off. He can do so much, and we saw him up close at the All-American Bowl. He was very physical, not just a space linebacker. He can clog the run game as well and take on blockers. Penn State is getting a good one there." Status. Signed with Penn State. Previous ranking, 50th positional ranking, no. 2 offensive guard, size, 6'5", 288 pounds, recruited from Hunt School, Princeton, NJ. Caden Wallace ended a 6-month 2019 class commitment route for Penn State when he pledged while on campus hours before kickoff of the blue-white game. Yet another top New Jersey talent who will wear a Nittany Lions uniform in college. He visited universities such as Florida, Florida State, Oklahoma and South Carolina leading up to his announcement. A former high school teammate of Penn State defensive tackle Fred Hansard, Wallace participated in the All-American Bowl and Polynesian Bowl. Wallace, who was a finalist for All-American Bowl Man of the Year, lands a top 247 sports and possesses the physical attributes to potentially make an impact on the perimeter. "You talk about a big, long athlete that's getting better and better," Nittany Lions offensive recruiting coordinator Tyler Bowen said in December. "He gives us some flexibility along the offensive line. We see him as a guy that's athletic enough to play the offensive tackle position." Status. Enrolled at Penn State. Previous ranking, 61 ST positional ranking, no. 4 weak side defensive end, size, 6'5", 220 pounds, recruited from Canarsie HS, Brooklyn, NY. Adisa Isaac picked Penn State over fellow finalist Miami 2 days prior to the early signing period. He earned 30 offers along the way but consistently reciprocated interest from the Nittany Lions, and staff members welcomed him into town this month. Isaac was sensational as a senior, securing 34 tackles for loss and 25 sacks. Considered an elite pass rusher recruit, he'll provide another compelling prospect for defensive line coach Sean Spencer's stockpile of talent off the edge. "What a specimen on the edge, tall, long, athletic, fast," Penn State defensive recruiting coordinator Terry Smith said in December. "It's a great guy to come get mentored by Yetur Gross-Matos, and then once Yetur leaves he'll be ready to step in." Status. Signed with Penn State. Previous ranking, 146th positional ranking, no. 5 running back, size, 5'11", 195 pounds, recruited from North Stafford HSBA. Devin Ford followed former North Stafford teammate and close friend Nana Sidhu's path in issuing a pledge to Penn State during spring of his junior year. Unfortunately, Sidhu, a top 10 offensive tackle prospect last cycle, will not play college football due to a heart condition, though he remains involved with the program. Ford, who earned All-State honors as a running back and punt returner at North Stafford, surpassed 6,000 rushing yards and 100 total touchdowns in his prep career. Ohio State and Virginia Tech were other top contenders for his commitment. Ford joins fellow 4-star running back Noah Cain, an early enrollee at Penn State this summer. This pair will be part of a group attempting to replace starter Miles Sanders. "I expect a high level of competition, obviously," Ford said earlier this month after practicing alongside Cain for the Under Armour All-America game. "And I expect us to have a chemistry like no other. We should all be able to get touches, be on the field at the same time, and just create havoc. We all can mesh together and create a monster." Status. Signed with Penn State. Previous ranking, 119th positional ranking, no. 6'9", defensive tackle, size 6'2", 280 pounds, recruited from McDonough School, Owings Mills, MD. Devon Ellis, who totaled 72 tackles, 17 sacks, 11 tackles for loss and 3 forced fumbles in 2018, signed with Penn State in December but didn't go public with his decision until last Saturday during a television broadcast of the Polynesian Bowl. The Nittany Lions land a top 10 defensive tackle prospect for the second straight cycle, as Ellis will join former McDonough teammate P.J. Mustipher, 247 Sports' 6th-ranked defensive tackle last year, on campus. They dominated the trenches together in 2017, consistently making life miserable for opponents. Mustipher collected 14 sacks and 17 tackles for loss. Ellis essentially duplicated that impact in the offensive backfield, recording 13 sacks and 17 tackles for loss. Ellis has the quickness and power to play either 3 technique or nose guard, wrote 247 Sports national recruiting analyst Brian Dawn. His quickness and lower body strength make him ideal as a run stopper who can also generate pressure as a pass rusher. He has the chance to be a standout at Penn State. Status: enrolled at Penn State, previous ranking 126, positional ranking no. 14 cornerback, size 6 foot 180 pounds, recruited from State College H.S. Pa. Keaton Ellis, the son of former Nittany Lions receiver Bruce Ellis, became the first member of Penn State's recruiting class early in his junior campaign. He pledged to PSU while on campus for a 2017 victory over Pittsburgh, and no prospect had an easier time getting to campus this cycle. Ellis attended high school less than 2 miles away from Beaver Stadium and earned an offer from Franklin after completing the 40-yard dash in 4.39 seconds at a June 2017 camp. He missed much of his junior season due to a thumb injury that required surgery but bounced back in a big way this fall. 1,376 all-purpose yards, 19 touchdowns, 51 tackles and 4 interceptions. 247 Sports elevated Ellis from a high 3 start to a top 247 prospect in September. Upon receiving his signature in December, Penn State cornerbacks coach Terry Smith expressed tremendous excitement for his potential. "Keaton is the guy," Smith said. "Obviously, lately, he's kind of jumped on some rankings. I think Keaton is as good a corner as there is in the country. When you watch his film, there's not better film of a corner in the country." Status: signed with Penn State, previous ranking 167, positional ranking no. 10 strong side defensive end, size 6'3", 254 pounds, recruited from Manchester H.S. Midlothian, VA. Hakeem Beamon spent 9 months committed to the North Carolina Tar Heels before backing off that verbal pledge in March. 3 months later, he became the first defensive lineman in Penn State's class. Beamon totaled 44 tackles, 16 for loss, and 5.5 sacks as a senior, according to Max Preps. He is likely to slide inside at the next level, much like the transition in 2018 for Nittany Lions freshman end-turned-tackle Judge Culpepper. Hakeem is an elite athlete, who had a dominating senior year, Manchester football coach Tom Hall said in a Penn State-issued signing announcement. His work ethic and meticulous preparation to game day is unique, looking for big things from him in his future years at Penn State. Status: signed with Penn State, previous ranking 214, positional ranking no. 25 receiver, size 6'2", 172 pounds, recruited from Chaminade Madonna Prep, Hollywood, Florida. John Dunmore is currently only receiver recruit in this class, and Miami attempted to flip him away late. A former Florida Gators pledge, he carried an established relationship with Nittany Lions assistant Jawan Sider into their interactions regarding Penn State, helping secure an official visit in June. Dunmore scored a touchdown in the state championship game earlier this month with Sider in attendance. He caught 53 passes for 853 yards and 8 touchdowns as a senior. Considering the Hurricanes' persistent presence and last-chance push in his recruitment, this was an impressive close for Penn State. Moore has some classic slot receiver ability with ability to win routes shortly after the snap. 247 sports analyst John Garcia Jr. evaluated. Developed route runner who can set up defender with quickness and fails to telegraph cuts or lose speed in and out of breaks. Smooth runner, strong hands. Competitive at point of attack. Status: enrolled at Penn State. Previous ranking: 200th positional ranking. Number 18. Safety size: 6'1", 205 pounds. Recruited from St. Thomas More School, Oakdale. Con. Tyler Rudolph revealed a top 5 list comprised of Clemson, Florida, Michigan, Ohio State and Penn State in April. 1 week later, he traveled to Happy Valley for an official visit, and PSU was the choice when announcement arrived in May. One of 3 top 247 defensive back recruits in this class, Rudolph has the range to handle multiple positions at the next level, so safety and cornerback are both possibilities. Physical specimen who carries 205 pounds like it is 180 pounds, Don assessed. Great burst and reads plays well. Has free safety ability and strong safety mindset and build. Plays downhill in run game and is willing to be physical. Runs extremely well. Loose hips allow him to turn and run with receivers in man coverage. Status: signed with Penn State. Previous ranking: 226th positional ranking. Number 24 cornerback. Size: 6'2", 185 pounds. Recruited from North Allegheny HS, Wexford. Pa, the son of former NFL All-Pro linebacker and current Pittsburgh Steelers assistant Joey Porter, this in-state standout picked up a Penn State offer in April and announced his decision 3 days after watching PSU pummel Pitt. Joey Porter Jr. became the Class 5th defensive back and has the length to make an impact across the secondary, and perhaps beyond it. Arizona State, LSU and Miami are among other Power 5 programs that pursued the WPIAL playmaker. Porter collected 10 interceptions during the last 2 seasons. Great frame with length and ability to play corner at 200 pounds, Don wrote. Competes well with big receivers. Long strider with excellent ball skills and strong instincts. Flips hips to change direction and run with receivers. Instinctual. Breaks well on balls thrown in front of him. Physical and reroutes receivers on jams. Willing tackler who can set edge.